Welcome in, North Carolina Congressman, member of the House Budget Committee, Addison McDowell. Great to have you with us this morning, Congressman. First, I do want to start with the Democrats really not letting go of these failing war powers resolution votes, and the New York Times now saying that 60-day deadline coming up on May 1st could pressure the president to end the war. It's my interpretation that President Trump does not cave to pressure easily, and former presidents went past the deadline numerous times without congressional action. So what's different now?
Well, look, let me be very clear that this administration has told us exactly what their priorities are in this excursion into the Middle East. They have told us from the very beginning what they wanted to do, and that was that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, they cannot have ballistic missiles, they cannot make ballistic missiles, and they cannot have a navy. That is exactly what we've done. We did that in 2 weeks. And so now, you have the master negotiator in President Trump who can bring them to the table, and that's exactly what he's done. He found their weak spot, it's the Strait of Hormuz, and he brought them to the table and he demanded a negotiation. And look, let's let him do his thing. He's the best negotiator to ever live. And so I'm excited to see what he can turn out from that. But look, you've got him already saving these people in Iran. They're slaves. And they're going to be murdered. And look, their lives are being saved because President Trump did what no president could do in 40 years. And so my Democrat colleagues, it doesn't matter what it is. They hate Trump so much. He's broken their brains. And it doesn't matter what it is. They're going to be no on everything and try to fight him, even when he's very well might be leading us into world peace.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, they will actually now root for the Ayatollah over our own country because they hate Trump so much. So I want to shift gears, though, Congressman. So big news overnight, the Senate officially passing the reconciliation bill that would fund ICE and Customs and Border Protection through 2029. They bypassed the Democrats, end the partial shutdown. Now it heads over to you guys. As Charlotte mentioned, you're on the House Budget Committee. The chair of that committee, Congressman Jody Arrington, says the House's appetite for this Senate path is, quote, no sure bet. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Look, I think anytime that we can accomplish conservative principles, that's what we should try to do. At the very end of the day, look, we've got to fund the Department of Homeland Security. This is the Coast Guard. This is the TSA. I mean, we cannot let these people go without paychecks, and they're about to run out of money. That's a real threat that we're facing. And so I think we've got to do this. But let's not forget, the Democrats negotiated this original appropriations bill and then walked away the day before we were going to pass it because they hate President Trump. They don't want ICE to be able to function. And so they're the ones that walked away from the table. And again, Republicans in Congress are being the adults in the room because the Democrats don't want to do anything to help us. Hakeem Jeffries has told the Speaker, look, I'm not going to do anything to help you because of Donald Trump. My base will go crazy. That's what he's saying to our leader. And so, they're not going to help us on anything, even the most common sense things that some of their Democrats probably want to vote for, but they know that they're going to face a Mamdani-like primary challenger and get radicalized farther and farther to the left. And, if we can't count on Democrats to do very basic functions of the United States government, we're just going to have to do it without them.
Before we go, I do want to ask you about the Virginia redistricting vote, and a judge has now blocked the referendum, calling it intentionally misleading and unconstitutional. We know that State Attorney General Jay Jones says they will appeal that, saying, quote, an activist judge should not have veto power over the people's vote. Interesting that now he's talking about activist judges. What's your reaction to that and the vote in general that happened on Tuesday?
Well, look, North Carolinians we're not, it's not a secret when you see someone try to be a moderate, run as a moderate like the governor of Virginia, but then turn out to be the most woke, radical Democrat. We had that in Roy Cooper. I mean, we're no stranger to that. And that's exactly what you've got right now. And what the Democrats did in Virginia, the question that they put on the ballot, I don't even understand it. And so I'm very encouraged by the number of Republicans that turned out to vote for that. And for us to only lose by what we did is actually encouraging to me. But we're a Republican Party now that doesn't wait back and let the Democrats do what they were always going to do, which is this. Even if we hadn't started redistricting in Texas, they were going to do this. And so I'm grateful that we actually went forward and tried to do it. But what the Virginia Democrats did is disgusting. It's un-American. They basically said, we're going to suspend our Constitution for a period. it's absurd.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're gonna fight them on it. But just Democrats are disgusting.
Yeah. Do you want fair elections by an unfair map? That's
Right.
what it comes down to. All right. Congressman Addison
Yeah.
McDowell, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.